how to overcome the strength plateau, okay? And this is now known as the modified German volume training, okay? So I've actually got a video on my YouTube channel talking about the German volume training, which was basically what coaches used to, it was developed in the 1970s by Rolf Vesser. He was coach of the German Olympic weightlifting team. 10 sets of 10 repetitions are for weight, which is about 70% of your 1 repetition max. It was said to increase muscle hypertrophy, like you were basically going to gain like 4 to 6 kilograms of muscle mass and the associated increase in strength. Some of the athletes from that German weightlifting team went on to win medals at the subsequent Olympics, and there was one athlete in particular in the 80s who attributed his success to this training program. However, there was not very much science behind the training program. It was effective, and it was then taken to America by some guy who discovered what Rolf Vesser was doing, introduced it to the States, and a lot of the strength athletes were using this approach there. But essentially what you're trying to do is increase the training volume by doing this 10 sets, 10 reps method, okay? And you've got to pick a weight where you can where you can actually do 10 repetitions, and then you do those 10 sets. Now that's what my video was about, that's what people used to do. Then came along this paper, which actually was published in 2017, and I didn't actually know about this paper. I hadn't really looked into the research, but for the presentation today, I made sure that I was going to have the most recent research about this. And what this study actually did is the only study that's looked at German volume training and compared it to an alternative form. And what they showed in this study was that modified German volume training, where you do 5 sets of 10 reps, or even 5 sets of 5 reps, but 5 sets of 10 reps is the most optimum for increasing muscle strength. And if you go to 10 sets, you're just overtraining. It doesn't actually have any benefits in terms of your muscle growth. So the optimum in terms of muscle growth was 5 sets of 10 reps. And in fact, they finished their study with some recommendations, and they said if you do 4 to 6 sets of 10 repetitions at 70% of your 1 repetition max, that is the perfect amount to get muscle hypertrophy and to overcome the plateau. Now this is something that you would do for the large muscle groups. So this is an exercise you would do for squats, for deadlifts, for shoulder press, for bench press. You wouldn't do this for, dumbbell flies or your triceps or bicep curls. This is something that you do for the large muscle groups. The exercises will target the large muscle groups. So you want to make sure that you do those muscle groups on different days. So you don't want to do squats, deadlifts on the same day. This is very, very intensive. The original 10 sets and 10 reps was psychologically tough because the first 4 or 5 sets you do, yeah, it's fine. 6, 7 become really hard, like a slog. You're like flipping, how am I going to get through this? And even 8 as well. But then 9 and 10, you actually have some neuromuscular adaptations taking place along whilst you're doing this exercise, and you suddenly get almost like a newfound energy or strength to be able to push out those 9th and 10th sets. But of course, this research study shows that you don't need to. I would recommend you to read this research study just to see what exactly they did. It's quite a good read. But again, this is one way that you can overcome the strength plateau. If anybody knows any other ways, it would be great if you could perhaps share with me or share with the rest of the class. Because I think knowing how to overcome the plateau is one of the things that most resistance training athletes really want to hone in on and understand.